I still have not changed my stance on VeVe, and here's why. What's up, WAGME fam? This is Crypto Addict with a VeVe video. Today I'll be going over my perspective of VeVe and why it has not changed even in this bear market. But before we begin, please be sure to take a moment to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And this market, it's been really rough nowadays, and there's been a lot of FUD starting to kind of float around, and has been for the last few months. But I think what we kind of forget is what we originally came into this project for. If you came into the project to flip short term, you should have either already taken profits or cut your losses. As with any type of trading, whether it be stocks, forex, as a trader you understand your risk and reward, and if the price has reached a point beyond what you were willing to risk, you take your loss, and if it hit your target price, you'll take your profit. With that being said, I entered VeVe with a long-term target, and I could care less about the ups and downs in between because I have no need to cash out any funds. If you invested what you were willing to lose, you mentally aren't losing anything. Now, I don't think that's the case for everyone, because I do know people do over invest and do invest with money that they do not want to lose, and that is not a good way to start your trading or investment strategy, because now you're emotionally tied to what goes on and what happens, which is what's occurring with VeVe. You're emotionally tied to the market moving up and down, and that's kind of causing you to make transactions and make sells, cut losses that you really did not plan to do. Fortunately, I was early enough to where I'm still in the positives when it comes to VeVe. So for those of you that are down, I'll explain, or try to explain, why I think you're still in a good place. Now, we all know the numbers VeVe threw at us before with the active users and the amount of gems coming into the system, which made sense. One of the main issues with VeVe is there is no metadata or any type of interoperability yet. So it's really hard to really find these numbers on our own. So we kind of just have to go with what they tell us. But let's say we're at really 50k active users currently on VeVe. For the prices to sustain what they are now with just 50k active users, the future does seem much brighter when more demand actually enters the market. Let's say 2 million active users begin collecting. Now, I say collecting because I'm expecting interoperability as NFTs become a little more mainstream. Here's an example. Let's say you're playing like Final Fantasy Online and you're decorating your house in the game. You can import, let's say, your Todd into your home as a statue. Now, as people come to your house, like they'll visit, they'll be like, oh, hey, where did you get that Todd Batman statue from? Like, they're curious about it. And you let them know that you got it off of the VeVe app, and you can let them know that they can purchase it on the VeVe app, or, you know, with interoperability, maybe they can go to OpenSea to purchase it or whatnot, and maybe import it into their home as well into the game. Let's say Meta/Facebook also has now, instead of like a Facebook page, you have a Meta home, which lets you go in and, you know, virtually view, almost like a page, but virtually view like all of your assets in a digital type environment. So as your friends visit your page or your home, or whatever they decide to call it in the future, they'll be able to see things that you own, like your Todd that you have now imported into your home. And so when they come in and they see this, they'll be like, oh wow, that's a really cool piece, and they'll want it as well. It's almost like you actually, you know, having a little showcase in your room in your actual home, but this is going to be in your virtual showroom. So when people come in and they see it, and if they like it, they'll ask you about where you got it. And when you let them know where you got it, they'll introduce them into the VeVe marketplace, and they'll see all of the VeVe collectibles, and they'll be able to get what they want. And showcase that in their showroom or in the game or whatnot. And that's why I think interoperability is really important, and why I say collecting instead of being like an active user in the VEVE app, because you can buy what's on VEVE and use it on a different platform. Now, this is way down the line, but that's what we're invested in, right? We're invested in the future. So really there's three types of NFTs. There's utility NFTs, there's art slash collectible NFTs, and there's gaming NFTs currently. VEVE is, to me, considered a collectibles NFT. So having utility with your NFT was never really a standard. Though VEVE is planning on like the metaverse, to me it's not a game. Now, if utility or gaming is introduced with any of the collectibles in the future, then to me that is a bonus. That is not something I'm expecting, but that is a plus to what we already get. So this is not what I take into account with where I see the collectibles going. The value will be based on these being collectibles that are highly desired given the IPs and the significance of them on the blockchain being like first appearances. And as more eyes and attention move towards like the Web3 space and more awareness comes to what you own, demand will naturally, come to those Todds, to those Supermans, to the Spider-Mans, or to the partner statue. That's something that's naturally going to come over time as more people begin to become more aware of this platform and what you can do with it. So this can be seen as FUD, but now that the drops are not selling out instantly and you can get what you want, it is much easier to onboard new collectors slash fans. So it's actually not a negative thing, and it's actually something that David Yu has always wanted. Collectors slash fans is actually the key here. Web3 and NFTs, initially what they did is they brought in a lot of people trying to get rich quick, or you can say flippers, right? So the reason why there is no longer sell out instantly within VEVE is because these collectibles are no longer always going above retail on a secondary market. So since it's no longer going above retail in a secondary market for everything, they're not profiting off of every single drop. And the flippers, or the people that are actually in here for the short-term money, are no longer interested, and they're getting out of VEVE, which that's not an issue, right? But people will see that as a negative, and that's not technically a negative, because what you're doing is you're replacing flippers with actual people that are now coming and getting introduced into the app that are actually fans of these collectibles or collectors themselves that actually want these pieces. So that is a good thing, because these guys would not come in here looking to make a quick buck. These guys are in here because they actually want the product, they want to keep the product, and they have no reason to sell the product. So back to my point of drops not selling out. When you try to bring or introduce someone into VEVE, you have been selling them on the idea that you can buy this and you can sell it and make more money. Now that is not the case for every single drop, right? So when new people come into the market and they see Buzz or Harley on the market still, and they're able to buy it from retail because VEVE has it available on their store, they can come in, they can buy what they want, and they can enjoy the experience on their own. Now, that is not a bad thing. For people that are actually trying to flip and make money, they see it as a bad thing when things do not sell out, but that is a good thing, because now people can enter the market knowing that there's things available for them to buy. And when they buy these drops or collectibles that are still available on the marketplace, that gets them to go ahead and play around with it, see if they enjoy it, and if they do, they're going to do more research on what VEVE is and what these other collectibles are. So when they actually do their research on these other collectibles, now they're going to look into like these season 1 and season 2 drops, and they're going to look into these FA tags, and they're going to be like, okay, wow, this is really cool, and I want this one because this is really a collector's item. It's an FA, it's a season 1. It's something that they're going to desire because now they're into the app, they started collecting, and they want more. So think of it like stores when they have their crazy Black Friday deals, but there's always a limited quantity. Those doorbuster deals, these sell out, right? So unless you're willing to camp out and stay overnight or a day ahead or a week ahead, to get in line and get these deals, more than likely you're not going to get it. And if you know you're not going to get it, you're not even going to waste your time going to try to purchase it. Am I right? What you're going to end up doing is you're going to either try to find some other thing that you can buy, maybe it's going to cost more, or you're going to have to buy something else in the secondary. But you're not going to waste your time or bother going to places that you know you're not going to get what you want. The same thing applies to VEVE. No one's going to come in here trying to buy a collectible on the secondary if nothing's available on the actual store or the actual app. If you think people are just going to come here, newcomers are just going to come here and spend a lot of money on your collectible, like they're just going to buy your bags without understanding the app, you're completely wrong. They need to come in, they need to understand the app, they need to understand what they're buying, they need to know if they enjoy it, and if they do, then they'll be willing to spend more money on the other collectibles. So this has been David Yu's idea of how he plans to have Walmart, or VEVE, as like the Walmart of Web3 or the gift shop. And I think everyone just kind of overlooks that. They hear him say it multiple times, but they have their own idea of what they want VEVE to be. They want VEVE to be this product that they can just make money off of every time. And their ideas for the future, their speculations, are based off of ways that they can pump their bags. And that's not the proper way to approach it. David Yu has made it perfectly clear as far as what he wants, and we need to accept that. And if we think that is going to be worth something in the future, that is what you put your money into, not based off of your own speculation, because who knows if that will ever happen, right? So yeah, David Yu, I mean, he wants users. He wants new users to come in and be able to enjoy the app and buy what they want and enjoy. Just enjoy their experiences with it, right? The vision has not changed, and he's stuck with that. That's what he initially wanted, and that's what he's stuck to. He did say that, you know, he wants drops, daily drops. That's a goal that they have, right? And it looks like they're going towards it, even though us, just, you know, users that are looking to maybe buy something and sell in the secondary market, it looks really bad because you're like, oh, they're saturating the market, everything's going to drop in value. But that's not technically the case. Having these available and there for purchase allows new people to come in, and, you know, they'll have an array of things that they can look at to purchase, which is good for new users. So Pokemon cards, they weren't a thing until Pokemon kind of became a thing, right? You know, you have like old fans, and then you have new fans that are now still searching for like those coveted first edition cards. But people who bought these cards back way then when they bought it, they did not come in entering with the idea of, I'm gonna buy this and in a year or two I'm gonna flip it for this amount of money. That's not the right way to approach it. It was a long-term thing. Pokemon became a giant brand, and having something of theirs that was a first edition just became valuable. And now, as you can see, there's multiple editions, multiple cards that are valuable, and that's because it's a popular thing to do, is collecting these Pokemon cards. The big picture of what VEVE is and can become is pretty similar, which, I mean, nothing has changed. Pokemon cards, they're, you know, trading card games, but other than that, they don't give you discounts on Pokemon products or whatnot. And you don't need to have that type of utility with these VEVE collectibles to make them have value in the future. The lows and the highs, I mean, they're always going to come and go. NFTs are so new still. No one, no matter what they tell you, no one is going to be able to predict the tops and the bottoms. I cannot predict the tops or the bottoms, but understand my risk involved when I enter a project such as VEVE. The world was not ready for crypto, and it showed many times. With each breakout, the technology just wasn't ready for everyone. We're seeing the first case of this with NFTs, where the technology needs to, you know, continue to get built before more people are actually ready to enter the space. When the technology is ready, I'm excited for the future of not just VEVE, but NFTs as a whole. Majority of projects will fail, but VEVE is definitely one that I can see sticking around. So I hope this has brought some clarity on my perspective of VEVE, even during a bear market. But please do your own research before deciding you wish to sweep floors on certain collectibles on VEVE. If you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll be sure to get to it for you guys. Also, let me know if you like the new logo designs that you see here. I didn't want to drop a bunch of videos until I had the design ready, and now that I have the actual logo developed, you can expect more content coming your way. But much appreciated, everyone, and like we always say, we are gonna make it.